Hi, ho everyone. My name's Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast brought to you
40.
by the sponsors you'll hear from. And more importantly, brought to you by friendship, because that's what we all share. Episode 40. We talk about, well, quite, I mean, at this point, saying an array of stuff is just given.
Yeah. But we talk about stuff, talk about things.
Oh, and then we talked about that one thing. Oh my!
We go super in depth about that one thing. That was really interesting.
There's those things. You brought up that thing, and then we discussed that.
And then you brought that one thing that made me think differently about how I thought about it previously.
And then you mentioned that one thing that made me think of that other thing, which led into another thing. Lots of stuff.
Watch this podcast.
Yeah, crazy. You're just gonna have to watch it here on the new GG Over Easy YouTube channel or on all the audio platforms. Thank you very much. Enjoy the podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome back to GG Over Easy. We hit episode 40. We did it.
Who would have thought, dude? It's still coming to you from a webcam, though. I wonder when we're gonna reconvene and become one again.
At this point, we're nearing as many episodes through webcam than we did IRL.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's like, it's not. Well, I think it was like episode 28, I want to say, was our last one.
Because it happened March. That's when everything started to like kind of
the beginning of March.
Haywire.
So it's been like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's looking like it might be a good bit more at this rate. So we'll see.
Feels bad, man.
We'll have to figure it out. Speaking of which, though, actually, I can't transition into that yet because then I'll forget about the other stuff I have to talk about. We're coming at you live exclusively, at least for video people, on the new GG Over Easy channel.
Poggy.
We have a separate channel. Literally just called GG Over Easy Podcast. Unfortunately, if you look it up, the channel doesn't even like show up in the searches yet. It'll get there, you know.
It'll get there. Start searching for it. Just do the refreshes. You know what to do.
It's budding. You know how it works.
Yeah.
Check that out though, especially if you're an audio listener as well, because putting up clips every now and then. Right now, I have a whole bunch of backlogged episodes, obviously, to clip.
Oh, you do?
Well, I mean, 39 episodes.
Oh, I thought you meant you already had clips ready.
Oh no, I need to.
Okay. I mean, what we could do is just have like everybody in the comments just say like what they would like to see clipped, and then you just go boop, boop, and then bop, easy clap.
Crowdsource it. That is true. If there is an episode and a timestamp you have for a certain thing, let me know. That would help me out a lot. But then once we catch up on a lot of those clips, moving forward, then the week after episodes, we'll clip some of that episode, make it easier for some people, or to see if some interest, and then they can go watch the whole podcast.
Yeah, I like clips, and I like a whole podcast. Like I found myself listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and I was doing the Kevin Hart one, and then like I started with the whole podcast, and then I was like, that was a great podcast, and then later I listened to the clips of the podcast afterwards, so I didn't have to go back. Yeah, it was very.
I listened to that episode too.
Joe, you're changing the game.
Damn.
Listen to that with when I was working out. That I had no idea Kevin Hart had like such a bad back injury accident.
Oh, you didn't know about that car wreck?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know it was a car wreck.
That was like all over the news a couple years ago.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Was it that long ago?
It's been that long.
Dang.
So
he's still good. I love Kevin Hart. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it a couple of something?
Very
He's
motivational.
a funny ass dude.
Yeah.
Which then that led me to I've been watching a lot of like Dave Chappelle clips. It's hilarious.
He's the GOAT.
I've never seen his comedy channel show though. I need to.
Oh my god, you've never watched the Chappelle show?
What?
Never seen.
Wait a minute.
Bro, growing up, you think my parents were gonna let me watch the Chappelle show?
No shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
So that wasn't an option.
Dude, Chappelle show. That's so weird to me that there was people who exist that have seen Dave Chappelle's stand up before they have seen his actual show.
That's true.
That's
just crazy to me.
Bro.
That's one of the best shows. That's probably in the running for funniest the running for funniest shows of all time.
That's why watching his more recent stand-ups, you use context clues. Like, oh, okay, he's talking about the show. I don't know anything about it, but oh, right, yeah. Or just be that one guy, ha ha ha, yeah.
I just remember being like 10 or 11 up at like 11:30 watching South Park, and then after that, Dave Chappelle's show would come on. 11-year-old should be watching it, but I was watching. Like that shit molded my humor. You know what I mean? It's so good.
Man.
Explains why you're so funny now.
That and Adult Swim. Like whenever Cartoon Network stopped, and it was like all of a sudden you'd hear like a whistle blow, and all of a sudden these old people would just like swim, and there'd be like a rap beat playing in the background. I was like, yeah, I'm a badass.
This is
kid.
kind of hard, dude.
Yeah, I'm like a bad.
I bet the people at school don't watch Adult Swim. Like,
yeah,
shit.
like, I'm a bad kid. Space Coast,
man,
Coast to Coast. I'm watching.
People probably think I'm 12, but nah, I'm 11, man. I'm watching Adult
high
Swim.
school kids watch the freshmen watch this. I'm hard.
So with that new channel, check that out. We'll also have a review here in a second, courtesy of Blue. But in the meantime, we'll just quickly mention the fact that we know there's a lot of stuff going on currently. We're going to avoid talking about it here, not because we don't have a stance or we don't want to upset certain people, but mainly because this can continue to be an outlet where you don't have to worry about something like that. If you do want to know where we stand or look and all that, you can check our personal Twitters. So that's available. We know there's a lot of stuff going on, but for now, we're just a couple of dudes who are going to talk. Hope you guys enjoy.
Video games and other stuff. Hopefully.
But first, we got a review. Yeah.
Dude, we're on the same wavelength. Well, we have a review from Anon CL Trash. And the review is titled Dream Team Popping Off. Rated 20 out of 20 stars. That's a lot of stars.
Wow.
It's going to bring our average up. Gotta say, I love hearing these guys iron out hot takes on controversial topics. Cough, cough, Destiny, cough, cough. Between Blue keeping it real, Rob asking the tough questions, or just the sound of Fruit's sultry voice, it all melts together in a blissful listen. I tune into this podcast whenever I can, while I do brain-dead work, much like an ape in Destiny who runs Astral plus Mindbended with Antius and SG Scavenger Con. I swear I did not know about that last part.
Yeah, Blue's like, I gotta find the one.
I was like, okay, I found the dude who plays Destiny, who watches our podcast. Hell yeah. But yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much for that review. And I'm sorry about the whole Mindbenders thing. That's rough.
That reminds me.
Go ahead.
You go first.
Okay, well, this is going to be maybe... Okay, so keep that in mind, okay? So don't lose what
I'll write it down. Okay.
And like, I've talked about this with you, I think jokingly, but I'm serious about it.
Oh.
And I think you might know what I'm talking about. So, like, I haven't, like, brought up a question in a while, and I'm going to bring one up to you.
It's
here comes
Rob's
the tough
question corner. Da, 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 da.
See, thank you for calling it just question corner and not stupid question.
No, of course not. No
silly
question.
Question corner.
Yeah,
so,
wacky.
Like, okay, so, like, you guys have heard my theory on sneezing, right?
Oh my God. Now I know what you're going to talk. Here we go.
My theory on sneezing is that like people don't really care that you sneeze. And that's why they say bless you. They just want to just talk. So like when I sneeze, yeah, like you laugh, but that's what it is. Like when
I've never been like, I just want to say bless you, dude.
No, when you're in school.
I sneezed. I can talk to them now.
Yeah, no, when you're in school and like you sneeze. Fucking the kid in the back who's never said a word to you that says bless you. They don't give a fuck that you really sneeze, dude. They just want to talk and say bless you. Like, I'm not going to give the person the satisfaction of talking.
My freedom.
I don't really.
So that's why I don't. So when I sneeze, so this is where I'm getting to my point. So like when I sneeze, I don't sneeze. You know what I mean? Like there's no like a chew. There's no like.
Just an ah.
Yeah. No, it's a like that. Like there's a. Like in there, but like
are you like holding it in, kind of like that's
it's 100% holding it in. Now,
yeah,
my
what's happened is his body's building up his sneezes over time.
I have been
blow up like a balloon
for years, dude, and nothing has ever.
And there's a sneeze bubble waiting to pop, and one day you're gonna sneeze, and you'll explode
you're literally
like a balloon.
Stopping like a 50-mile-per-hour projectile,
but I'm also stopping the spread of disease. Like
your brain, every time you stop it, probably launches forward. And hits your skull every time.
I do this, like, you know, don't get me wrong.
You're being dramatic over like a social anxiety over like society.
No, but okay, but here's what I'm saying now. Here's my question.
Continue.
Wait, there's a lot to unwrap.
Everybody
here.
just sneezed like me and like just did the
we'd all die.
No, we would not. We would, and then I swear to you, we would stop the spread of disease.
There's many scientific.
Why don't we do that?
There's a lot of scientific evidence that shows that it's really unhealthy to hold your sneezes in. Maybe
if
you
I
don't
tried to hold
see
it in, I would probably die. I have violent sneezes. I can't help it.
I cannot hold my sneezes.
Yes,
in.
I would.
See, and
I would
that's the
probably
point.
just
Yes,
like.
you can. You just have to believe. I almost just kicked over my
I would
computer.
hold it in.
For the same reason you sneeze when you go outside is the same reason we don't. Maybe we just can't do it. Maybe it just doesn't happen to us.
But you
The
still-
velocity of me stopping my sneeze would be transferred to my brain. It would hit against
Exactly.
the front of my skull, and I
I'm
would
already
transcend
stupid.
into
I can't
five
afford
head.
that.
What?
It's better if we don't do that.
No,
I
you can
cannot
do
afford
it.
that.
And if you're a silent sneezer out there, mad respect.
Wait. So I want to go into the details of why
Yes.
you think the only reason you're not doing this because sneezing's annoying. I don't want to spread disease.
Yes,
'cause that's a lie.
I
You-
don't sneeze because I don't want somebody I don't know.
You
to
don't want
talk
someone to
me
say,
and
"Bless
I
you."
Yes.
And you only don't want someone to say bless you because you think that they just want to get something out of it.
Not get something out of it, but just like talk. But this like stemmed from
What are-
school. Maybe when I'm outside in the public, maybe it's a little different. People kind of care. But like if I bless you in class and fucking some kid I've never said to ever just goes, "Hey, bless you." It's like, shut up. You just want to say that and talk in the middle of class. Like, that's why I don't sneeze. But
What?
yes.
Okay, look, I say bless you. I don't say it all the time because sometimes like someone's far away, I'm like, fuck it, like they can eat ass. But
See, you just prove it. You don't care. You don't care.
But
So
it's like
why-
a force of habit. It's like look, I'm gonna give it to you straight, buddy. The reason why so many people force a habit say bless you, it's like muscle memory. Like most of America was in some way, shape, or form raised on some form of
I
Christianity.
get that. Yes.
So
but in-
everyone is instilled to them at a young age. If someone sneezes, you say bless you. I still say it sometimes. I don't say it as much as I used to, but like I don't know, it's just like a courtesy. Like, hey, like yo, you sneezed.
Isn't
Shout out
like
to
the
you. You
lore
popped
behind
off.
that though? Because like technically, like your
Your
heart
heart
skips a
stopped or
beat, or
whatever.
or like you missed a breath or something like that. Isn't that?
I don't know if that's like an old wives' tale or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
probably
called,
is.
like,
Yeah, it's up there with like you on average eat like 4 spiders a night when
if you
sleep.
drink Mountain Dew, your sperm count is reduced. Like shit
All
like
I'm
that.
saying is
That explains a lot.
as much as it's probably a little silly now by modern standards, you are acting like a child
No,
and literally holding in your sneeze because I want to hear that bless you shit. Fuck that.
It's true. Like that's where my sneezing, like, because like when my dad sneezes, bro, it's like literally like an orchestra is like a 1, a 2, and every instrument just goes as loud as they can, dude. I don't get
And
it,
a
and I'm
1
like,
and a 2.
why?
I kind of do
Yeah.
that too sometimes. It's like if I'm gonna sneeze, I'm gonna fucking sneeze. Like I am gonna sneeze.
Like the room like closes in. He's like,
I'm
He's
a
like,
total-
oh, Jesus.
total invert of you. You're trying to not make any noise. I'm trying to make as much as possible. I'm gonna pop off if I sneeze.
Okay, well, you see, you're gonna need those bless yous, Rob. They're all building up because if you continue to hold in these sneezes, here is what could possibly happen. No one is saying to hold in
Can
a
I
sneeze.
get what? An omega sneeze or like what do you? What,
You
like,
can rupture your eardrum.
Never happened.
Well, yeah, yet you get an ear
Yeah,
infection.
you guys could win the lottery.
How many ear infections you get a year, Rob?
Never. I've never had an
You
ear infection
can-
my entire
That's a
life.
lie.
damage the
I
blood
never- I
vessels in
swear
your
to you.
Someone
eyes,
farted on your
nose,
face. You got pink eye.
or
You definitely got an ear
eardrums.
infection.
I got pink eye.
A
That's the first
diaphragm
time.
injury, an aneurysm,
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Throat
ear
damage.
infection.
I get that.
Throat damage.
There's literally a report of an old man.
Side effects of playing Destiny, or is holding.
There was a 34-year-old man who ruptured his throat from holding in a
Yeah.
sneeze. Broken ribs. That's more if you're older. But if you continue this, it's gonna be a habit until you're older.
You're gonna be a
and then
habit,
you're
and
gonna be
you're
sitting there-
old, and you have arthritis, or you're gonna break your hip.
But maybe when I'm like old and like maybe I'll just say at that point like
A 34-year-old man though ruptured his throat. Then an
Like,
aneurysm could come
what
from. That.
happens when you rupture your throat? Like, can I still like not? Can I not breathe now? Like, can I die?
I have no idea. It does.
I don't know what that implies.
I just know
That's what I like to
rupture
get
doesn't
surgery.
sound good.
Yeah,
Um,
like if you
Yeah,
rupture,
that-
I eat. That's how I eat, dude. I need that.
it's
Yeah,
a serious
but, like-
injury requiring immediate medical attention.
Yeah, but I get it. There's a chance I do, but there's a chance when you take a squat, you're gonna poop your pants.
Okay,
know,
but you are
take-
increasing
take
your
that
chances
chance.
every single time you sneeze.
Yeah.
But I
It's
don't.
not-
But I'm not sneezing.
Yes,
But-
you are. You're just holding it in.
Yeah. It's not good, Rob.
In
That's
Rob's
not
Get
good,
some-
Rob.
society,
get some
everybody
help.
holds it in.
We need an intervention, a sneeze
That's
intervention.
emotionally and physically unhealthy.
No, sometimes- I'll tell you this: if I'm not around people, I let it go. But I like elbow. But like, because like it's just like whatever. No one's around.
Just
but,
let
like,
it
it-
out.
But
Everybody
then, like
sneezes.
I also don't let it out because I also don't want people to be like, "Ew." It's like
Nobody does that. First of all,
Yeah, I
And second
can't
of all,
think of a time someone sneezed and I went, ugh.
Ew,
Ugh.
ew,
I bet
bodily
he sneezed
habits,
one
ew.
because he's
If they sneeze
gross,
in their
and
hands,
two
I say
because he
ew.
wants to hear me say, bless you.
Gross. Don't sneeze in your hands. Get right here.
Yeah, it's such a weird
What
like
the-
stance on this. Like you're
That's
so
really like that's like their stances, but that's like such like an
Just- I know, but I-
inconsequential
it's
stance.
just a really
And then,
weird
like,
hill
I-
to die on.
I
Yeah,
think-
they're like you're like standing for like fuck bless you. Like what do you like there is no you are not gaining
you-
anything.
if you
from
sneeze,
that.
you're a
somebody out there
commie.
who thinks like me too. I swear.
You can make a
But
Facebook
but
group
what
with
I'm
them.
saying is like, why doesn't everybody do that? And I guess you answered it because there are some health concerns.
There's no
but-
quotations. There are health concerns.
There's no quote.
It's not like fake news.
literally-
like health concerns. There are health.
Literally-
It's been shown.
I can't tell you how many teachers have told people don't hold in your sneezes because it's unhealthy for many reasons.
Sorry, teach. I'm gonna make the class laugh, and I'm holding in my sneeze.
Wait,
One of these days, you're literally it's going to be during a podcast. You're going to hold in your sneeze, and then your ear just going to explode.
yeah, we're just gonna see your head explode. Literally, just
See, like when I sneeze, I go like. So like, but there's no germs. Like, why doesn't anybody say the good things that come with holding?
Germs still probably come out.
Like, I
considering
bet there's some pot. Why is everybody looking at the negatives here?
because I'm
looking at
sure
the
they
positive.
heavily outweigh whatever positives you could think
because
of.
to
I
avoid
don't
spreading
spread
germs. Yeah, you don't have to spread germs. Sneeze in your arm, bro.
But like, why can't I just hold it in?
Well, evidently you do. That's your conscious choice. I would just highly recommend everyone listening do not listen to Rob and
It's
do
like
not hold
it's
your
like it's
sneezes
like
in.
it's like Rob's analogy right now is like, oh man, like we can't like this river has a dam that like the river will like flood this town, and it's like okay, drain the entire river instead of why don't we just put a dam?
Let's just drain the river, though.
Just why don't we just not have a river?
Just
Drain the
all I'm
swamp.
saying, I've never experienced any of those things, and yes, it is quite possible that one of these days, sure, I may rupture my throat, but at
You don't
least
need to
I-
even risk it.
But that
This all
I
boils
might have
down to
ruptured
this
my throat,
weird thing you
nobody
have
said
about
bless you.
God bless you
it's not like no, it doesn't have to be God. It's not like a
or bless you. No, I'm just saying
no,
like
it's just
someone
like someone
saying
wants to
something.
talk. I just don't want someone to have to say something they don't really give a shit about. Like
This
Blue was
seems
just
like some.
Let's be honest, I don't really care about it. It's like, yeah, well, I don't want like
We're not in high
don't
school
care that I
anymore,
really-
though.
But it is like nothing happens when that happens. It's not like I'm telling you you're a terrible person because you sneezed. It's not like it's like you must follow the way of Christ, and if you do not, you will repent for sneezing. It's literally, hey, bless you. Oh shit, thanks, bro.
Yeah, just
That's
like-
it.
Hey, thanks. I'll tell you too. 9 times out of 10, no one says anything when I sneeze.
Yeah.
Most people just aren't even courteous enough to be like bless you.
so you think it's courteous to say bless you to somebody when they sneeze.
Yeah, that's what we've been taught. Like it's just someone sneezing like oh bless you.
I might not care,
it.
but the general sentiment is
Half the
they're
times I don't even
literally
think. It's like a
bless you,
reflex.
bro. Like you have been blessed. You deserve it.
Look
I guess
him
you
in the
guys just see it
eyes.
as like a polite thing,
Bless
and I just see it as
you.
the opposite.
I mean, its intention is to be polite. And
Yeah.
as time has gone on, it's like muscle memory. I just say, oh, bless you.
Someone
But,
holds
like,
a
the
door, you say
original-
thanks. Someone sneezed, you say
Yeah.
bless you.
Yeah. Do you not open
I love-
doors because you don't want
Of
someone
course I
saying,
open doors.
Yeah, but then they're gonna
Open
say
doors 'cause
thanks
that's
to
the
you.
right thing to do.
so open the door
And
of
then,
your
like, if I'm
nostril and
driving-
sneeze, bro.
If I'm driving and I let someone in and they throw me
Yeah,
one
you
of
better
these,
hit that
like,
whip. Hit the whip.
yeah,
bro.
if they give me one of those, like that's cool. And if they don't, then it's like I'm gonna. I just let you
well, now
in.
I'm running you
Dude,
off the
like-
road.
Oh my god.
You know what? That brings me to a great point to that. I saw this video in Japan. And in Japan, instead of like a hand wave or whatever, which sometimes it's hard to see because like when I try and do it, I'm like I want them to know like thanks. I'm like I don't have a big window. Maybe they can't see. They're like I'm like putting my hand like dude, thank you. You know, like I want them to know it's appreciated. But in like Japan, they just put on their hazards, let them blink twice, and turn them off, and that's like their thanks. That's way easier. Yeah.
I mean,
why don't we do the problem is if I were to do that, people are like, why are your hazards on? Like,
no, I feel like if you did that, people would get the reference.
But it's not as unanimous.
They would get it.
I would hope, but I wouldn't be sure. If I do, like if I put my hand up, I know they'll be like, oh, okay, like he's saying thanks.
There's almost like a hidden car lingo that there is, like with the drivers on the road. If someone did that, if I let someone in and they did that, I would assume that was their thank you.
Yeah, I think like whenever you do something nice, like your natural human response is to get a reaction, and like as long as someone does something,
thank me
in response to it, I feel like they noticed. Nice.
Yeah, but if like they don't, I'm like I hate you. I should.
Wow. Next,
that's
I hope no one lets you win.
Like when you're leaving,
I could have cut your ass off.
Like you're leaving a parking lot in a concert, and everyone's leaving at the same time, or like a basketball game. That's when it's most prevalent to be like, if I let you in now, because we're leaving a parking lot, I don't have to. Like I'm going. You know, this is my courtesy.
I'm a gracious traffic.
So if you don't wave
right
to me, it's like I immediately regret that decision. I hate you.
How dare you?
Yeah, give me just throw me one of these. That's all. Just a little hand toss. That's all I need. Is just a little.
That's all I'm asking for,
and I'm happy.
I couldn't agree more. But I still think you have this really weird thing about sneezing.
Weird.
I'm just saying, I think in my perfect world, everybody holds in their sneezes because one, it just eliminates something that people say that they don't really care about.
It would not be a perfect world because people would get injuries.
Yeah, by that, then every time someone says like, hey, thanks, or like, you're welcome, or
no,
please,
thank
whatever.
you and you're welcome are two totally different
but
things. But
those are the same. It's the same principle. It's a knee-jerk reaction to somebody doing something. And it's just courteous. They're both. It's all about trying to be courteous. Someone sneezes,
Rob,
bless you, holds a door.
You try to have a societal take on this, but you're doing the exact same thing that people say bless you are. You're having a knee-jerk reaction to something that has no consequence. So you look in the mirror tonight and remind yourself that you're no different than the person that says bless you.
Am I the bad guy?
Bro, just sneeze. Like it's
run for office 2024 and your
just
your
like
whole campaign can just be
Rob's primary
in your
platform.
sneeze.
I'm just saying, but we don't have to.
Rob's platform is: do you hate when someone says "bless you"?
Like,
but when I'm president, nobody will be allowed to say "bless you" when you sneeze.
You're up there at a podium. You're at a rally. You're saying this, and then like it kind of gets quiet, and you just hear in distance like, and everyone's like, "Oh!" and you're like, "Get him!" Like, who was that?
Know what?
You can leave.
He would sneeze, and everybody would just look at him and not say "bless you."
Everyone would just automatically go "bless you," and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Shit.
No, and then I say "bless you." I go, "Yo, bless you," and then I'm like,
and they're like, "Robbie V's presidential campaign ended
like
today
Cora, when he gets caught bending." Oh, spoiler.
Yeah.
But yes, it would be like that.
Well, I'm sorry to say, I don't think you'll have my vote.
I'm sorry.
You have to bring something else to the table.
You're a president that sneezes and you drop spoilers.
Yeah, well,
I mean, that's not a spoiler. That show's been out for like 15 years. Come on now.
15 years. It's been out for, did it came out in 2007 maybe.
Okay,
I don't know.
13. Sorry.
I know. But at first I was like, 15, wait a second.
That's pretty.
It kind of has. Yeah. I was like, wait, Jesus. Oh
yeah, you're God. Old. We're old.
I am slowly rewatching it now that it's available on Netflix.
Yeah, you're also rewatching, or you, I guess not rewatching.
Not rewatching, yeah.
You watched The Lord of the Rings for the first time, which I never knew about you.
Yeah. Well, I just never really thought about it. I don't know. I watched the whole trilogy in the past like 4 days. The extended version too. So that's why it took like 4 or 5 days. It would be like half of it. It would be one disc. And it's like insert disc 2. I was like, all right, well, let's take a break. And then yesterday spent a little over 4 hours watching the whole Return of the King. and
That's
was
the
great.
third one, right?
yeah, I loved it. I don't know why,
I'm surprised you hadn't seen it.
especially because I've seen a lot of movies.
were your parents not about Lord of the Rings? Like, is that also like
No.
not gonna fly?
Nah, anything like my parents aren't into stuff like that. Or like
It was PG-13 though. Like, couldn't you have seen it at like?
they
Right?
came
It's
out
not
when I
rated
was
R.
no, but those came out when I was 4, 5. I thought it came out in like
2001?
90. Oh, they came out in 2001.
I think 2000, 2001.
So then I would have been like 6 or 7, or whatever, living in Florida, and my parents just didn't care.
2001 is the first one.
So, and then I think it
7.
released yearly after that, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would have been like 7, 8, 9, or whatever. But yeah, my parents just didn't care. So never saw it, and I vaguely remember like my brother trying to show me when I was really young, and he was like, "We're gonna watch all 3 extended edition today," and I was like, "This sounds great." We're like 3/4 of the way through the first one. He's like, "All right, I give up." So I was like, "All right," and so that was really all I'd ever seen. And the weird thing is,
you didn't remember anything of that, I'm sure.
no, I remember nothing about that. And for some reason, like that and Harry Potter up until 3 years ago, because of Claire, I'd never seen Harry Potter, never bothered, never seen any
I'm
of them.
with you. I hadn't seen any of the Harry Potters or Lord of the Rings till Sydney.
Yeah, I don't know why. But Claire was huge on Harry Potter. Watched those. I liked them. And then I liked Lord of the Rings. I just never, I don't know.
Yeah.
Never saw them for some
Harry
reason.
Potter World is way cooler than Disney World. If you ever are in Florida or Orlando, choose Universal Studios over Disney World. Honestly, like the Harry Potter World is so tight. I love Harry Potter. I actually have my Elder Wand. It's somewhere in storage, but it's somewhere.
That reminds me, I saw a meme, as the kids call it, on Reddit like yesterday. It was like 3 panels. It was like people who watch Harry Potter, and on the right, it's like, I want to be a wizard. And it's like people in it's like, yeah, I want to be a wizard. And there's like people in Star Wars, I want to be a Jedi. And then people in Warhammer 40K universe, no, I'm good. Because I don't know if you know much about that, but it ain't great. The Warhammer 40K universe is crazy, dude. It's so expansive. I mean, that's the universe we played.
Where it was like
Vermintide.
the little rats, right?
Yeah, and that's just one sub game. I mean, it's like when people license out like Dungeons and Dragons. You know, it'll say like a Dungeons and Dragons game. Pretty much just licensing it out. So like Warhammer Vermintide was licensing out this universe to be able to make a game in it, like based off the war and everything.
Really?
Yeah. And there's
I
tons
know
of that
it's
stuff.
like a big board game, and they have a lot of pieces and stuff like that. CS:GO
Huge
just got
board
like a
game.
sticker pack for like a Warhammer game.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I know there's that. There's like these huge like war sim ones, like games on Steam, I think, that are kind of like RTSs almost or something like that, or like
Lambie plays one.
yeah. I've never played any of them except for Vermintide. Universe seems
Vermintide
pretty
was
cool, but
sick.
it would just be way easier for me to digest if there was, well, like a movie.
Well, okay, so speaking of Reddit, on the little talk thing here, it just says Reddit. Can you elaborate, Mr. Fruit, on why it just says Reddit?
I will right after
This
before I
ad break.
well, not quite.
Cliffhanger. Oh.
Oh.
We'll get there right after this. After this. We were just talking about Lord of the Rings. There was a fun fact I learned that did you know? Evidently, the first people to pitch the idea of film adaptation of the Lord of the Rings to J.R. Tolkien was
Oh, dude, you can't have a fun fact. and then
wait,
forget
no,
the fact.
it's kind of sad that the band name is it's right. It's they're
Beatles.
the yes, the Beatles.
I don't even know. Wait, okay, so wait, one more time.
So apparently, like a couple of the people from the Beatles, I can't remember the exact people, but like 3 of them went to J.R.R. Tolkien and were like, "Hey, you should do a film adaptation, and we'll play like Frodo and Sam and that stuff." And he was like, "No."
Well,
That
that's
was it.
probably your call.
But I know, I don't know too much about him, but even before seeing the movies, I remember hearing he was like very specific on stuff. Like he was like, no one can play Gandalf except for like Ian McKellen. He's like, that's the only person I'll let play Gandalf. He had to like give, like certain people his blessings to play roles. He was very protective of it.
How many pages is Lord of the Rings? 1,100 pages.
is what? One of them or like total?
It just says Lord of the Rings has 1,100 total pages.
I'll say total. The crazy thing is what? That's like half of a Game of Thrones book.
Jeez.
One book.
That's crazy.
I haven't read them, but I've just been told that George R.R. Martin can be very wordy when he doesn't need to be.
Oh
I
boy.
don't read.
Yeah.
I
don't read. Don't talk to me about books. I can't read.
I don't read. I don't.
But we
Most
do
read-
listen.
I read a manga. I'm a otaku.
We do listen though, and we listen to ad reads.
Itadakimasu.
This ad read. Whether you're working from home or working on your fitness, you want what you're listening to be what you're listening to, not what your roommates or neighbors are listening to. Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds. But before you go dropping hundreds of dollars on a pair, you need to check out the wireless earbuds from Raycon. You already know Raycon earbuds start at about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and that they sound just as amazing as other top audio brands you know. Their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are their best ones yet, with 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a nice noise-isolating fit. Raycon's wireless earbuds are so comfortable, perfect for conference calls or binging podcasts, such as this amazing one. For me, Raycon wireless earbuds were a no-brainer. Working out, I don't want to have to deal with any wires or anything, so wireless earbuds made sense. But why fork out a whole bunch of money for earbuds that would do the same, if not less, than the Raycons? So instead, I saved some money, got some great sounding earbuds, and I get the pump. Unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet, with no dangling wires or stems to distract anyone during video calls. You've heard me talk about how the company was co-founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Snoop Dogg, they're obsessed with Raycons. Pick up a pair and see what the hype is all about. Now's the time to get the latest and greatest from Raycon. Get 15% off your order at buyraycon.com/GG. That's buyraycon.com/GG for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. buyraycon.com/GG. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GG Over Easy podcast.
Whoop whoop.
We're coming back. Rob briefly mentioned it. Reddit. What about Reddit? Well, I was just going to briefly mention that. You know what? We need to meme up, more specifically, the Mr. Fruit subreddit.
Oh,
We need some people to come in.
You're calling out.
It's a call to arms, but mainly because the only thing being posted right now are people complaining about things, one way or the other.
You're telling me your Reddit page has turned into a Reddit page.
But it's not. It's like all the Reddit is now. Most of the days is one people complaining about the strat in my Pokemon Nuzlocke, like 20 different
Can
threads.
you explain to me what your strat is?
Oh man.
I don't understand it, and I don't.
You're not going to understand the outrage either.
Yeah,
And can I tell you what I think it is? When like what I saw from my research yesterday.
okay. Your research, yes. I'll
Because
need a dissertation.
I saw you like a Reddit or like a Twitter post where it's like I broke down the math to why everyone is getting mad at you.
Yes.
And then you like briefly mentioned it too while we were playing Fun Employed, that like the subreddit was up in arms about something. So I went back and then I saw your Slacking does like a move called entertainment.
Entrainment.
Now, entrainment. Okay, so it's not entrainment. Now, this entrainment makes the title of the other Pokemon you're fighting something different.
Ability. Yes.
Now, it changes said ability, and then you win. I don't get why that's a big deal. Can any other Pokemon have that? Why is it so bad that he has entertainment?
All right. Gather around the I will boil this down to as digestible
All right,
as
ladies
possible.
and gentlemen, time for nerd shit.
Yeah. Okay, so essentially I randomized my Pokemon White 2.
Yes,
which is why it's randomized Nuzlocke. The Nuzlocke doesn't even matter about this part, but it's randomized. The stuff that's randomized are the Pokemon you can find in the wild and TMs, which are technical machines, which, as you probably know if you've ever played Pokemon.
That's like Serve, Cut.
Yeah, well, those are HMs more specifically. HMs are like things you need to use in the field, like Surf, like to cross water. TMs are just moves that you can teach. In earlier games, there were one-offs, but it's essentially just like something, if they're able to learn it, you can teach it. Like, I have Flamethrower TM. I'm going to teach that to Charizard, even though you would already know that, but that's not important. So you can teach it to somebody. But what I've done is randomize the TMs. So normally when I would find, for instance, at the beginning of the Let's Play, I found TM for what would normally be double team. But mine was randomized to Aqua Tail, which is this water move, pretty decent.
Uh-huh.
So then I go to see who can learn Aqua Tail. And because originally the TM was double team, almost everybody I have can learn it. So now they can learn Aqua Tail. And so it makes it fun because, one, you have no idea what TMs you'll find. You could find any move. So you could find moves that normally wouldn't be TMs or only one Pokemon can learn.
Like you could find like Ancient Power as a TM.
Sure, yeah. You can find anything. For instance, like Dialga learns Roar of Time. He's the only one that knows Roar of Time. It's his move. But I could find that as a TM, and now I could teach that to anybody if I found it. And they can learn it. So what ended up happening was I randomly found a Vigoroth, and I evolved it into a Slacking.
Yep. I saw that episode. You were like, oh, you were like excited. You were
now,
like,
a Slacking is known.
That's the dude that does this, right? Like,
yeah. He's just like loafing around.
He's tight.
Okay.
Now, the reason what he's known for is he has the highest base attack stat of any Pokemon ever. He hits like a truck.
Well, back then he did.
Well, yeah, isn't it now technically Regigigas?
Now this is Heart Gold, right?
No, this is Black and White 2.
Okay.
And so his base attacks, most of his base stats, in fact, are way more elevated than they would be for a normal Pokemon. And so for instance, like his base attack is 160, which like legendaries don't even reach that. So it's like, dang, this dude's insane. Why wouldn't everybody use him? Well, he has an ability called Truant. Now, this ability means every other turn he loafs around. He's like taking a break. He's lazy.
So you have to take 2 turns for his one attack.
Yes, that's why he's slacking. He's slacking. Get it?
Oh, come on, you're at it again.
So that's the thing. He can get one good hit in, but then he's like, all right, like, I'm going to take a break real quick. And then the next turn, he's like, all right, I'm back. So competitively and stuff, not the greatest. And for this Let's Play, at first I was hesitant. I was like, well, I don't really want him loafing around. But we found this TM randomly that was randomized to a move called Entrainment, which I didn't even know existed because I'd never bothered to use it before. And I got it at first too, and I was like, trash, until someone pointed out to me. What Entrainment does is exactly what you said. The Pokemon using it gives their ability and copies it and gives it to their opponent. So Slacking gives his Truant, which is a terrible ability.
Awful ability.
To the opponent. So now the enemy loafs every other turn just like Slacking would. So it just happenstance, and like a guy did the math on exactly how rare that was. It was astronomical. But the fact that we got that, so what ended up happening was, because of like the difficulty settings I applied and like forced evolutions and trainer level increase, all that kind of stuff, it meant I was usually pretty underleveled. And if we came across like a pseudo legendary or legendary, I'm screwed, because I also had it so that it was on set battle mode, not switch, which means when you normally play a Pokemon game, you kill a Pokemon, right? And then it says, trainer's going to send out Rattata, right? And they're like, do you want to switch? Well, I have it so you can't do that. You're not able, you don't know who's coming out. You can't switch out.
I like that.
Yeah, so it makes it a little bit harder. They come out. But the problem is, with a lot of like legendaries and stuff, I don't have any Pokemon that would be able to switch in, take a hit, then take another hit to get a hit in. Like, everyone would be two-shot. So what ends up happening is it would just be like, get hit, heal, get hit, heal, get hit, heal, get hit, heal, and you're just waiting for their moves to run out. So instead, I would send out Slacking, use Entrainment. Now the tank. Pokemon, and plus, he's a tank. So he can take a hit, you entrain them, then that essentially gives me a free swap in. Because the next turn they're going to loaf, so now I can safely swap in somebody to get an attack in. But people Yeah, at least the vocal minority. We're just so
But
upset.
what you said, this was completely random, and all of it happened within the game.
This is the point of Nuzlocke.
Is
to have crazy things happen. And it might be kind of, for people, it'd be like, oh, this is a lame way to play it. But it's also like, hasn't the man been through enough in this Nuzlocke already? Hasn't he lost enough? It's actually kind of crazy how you went from in such a quick time period from just absolutely losing
Just
to having what is one of the most busted setups in a Nuzlocke I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Really? Like, this is probably one of the most insane things in a Nuzlocke?
Yeah,
It's
because
one of the
he's
most
essentially-
insane things.
Yeah, he's essentially given himself away to safely switch while not having the switch style battle system on.
Yeah. Which
And
is
what
like
was
a
the math
difficult.
that you said? It was like 0.00.
Oh, it's like something like 1 out of 3 million or something. Like, it's rarer than a shiny happening by far. Because like,
Because he also said like slacking has to be part of something where he can learn said move. That's
well,
what I
yeah.
remember.
So all the things that randomized are one, the TMs I found. That TM could be randomized to any move. So you have to count how many moves there are. Something like 400, I don't know. So 1 out of like 400 starts there. Then it goes to how many encounters I can find. Then from those encounters, what are the odds it's going to be slacking? Which it could be Slackoth, Vigoroth, or slacking. So it's 3 out of Gen 5 was like 620 or something. So 3 out of 620.
Mm-hmm.
Then on top of that, it's TM compatibility. So I found that TM, but it's not guaranteed that slacking can learn that. That's what I was saying. The TMs are randomized, so that means I might have like a flamethrower move, like a fire move. I'm like, sick, I'll teach it to my fire type. But that's not how that works. It's whatever the move.
Normal type move.
Yeah,
Like,
whatever it was originally. Like maybe that TM originally was like a water type move, so it can't learn it. So the fact
but you
that
could have,
whatever
like, flamethrower on a Vaporeon.
Yeah, that's like the fun stuff. You can like get like weird moves you wouldn't expect. So you get the randomized TM that happens to be randomly compatible with a Slackoth or a Vigoroth, which became a Slacking that I managed to find. Put that all together, and the odds are like super insane. So what I figured out is people really like Nuzlocke when it's really unlucky for you, but if you ever get lucky, they're like, "Ree!
That's
I want to
crazy.
see you lose." Yeah. So long story short, like what ended up happening was insane. And people had a good point. Like, yeah, if I really wanted to, I could just do that every time, like spam that every fight, every battle. And yeah, like the game would be super easy.
We should have like
But it's not what I did.
a Reddit meme of the week where we take the #1 Reddit post and like you put it
that'd
up
be cool.
on like the screen for a second. If you
Little
really
meme
want
review?
them to step up their game,
Yeah,
Give 'em
I
the
would like that.
content.
Because every time I just go out and it's like something, it's either
just
he should
they're
use
bitching.
entrainment. He shouldn't use entrainment. His content's really gone down. I hope
Yeah,
he's okay.
I went to the Reddit, and usually the Reddit's like, "Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Fruit. Oh, wow, thank you so much for the golf it and the TTT. Oh, did you guys watch this new video? It was tight. It was really funny. Rob shit in his pants again, and then
Classic.
this time." It was like entrainment. I was like, what happened? So then I went to go watch your last couple of Nuzlocke, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of sick.
Yeah. And like the main reason too is like I didn't try and purposefully abuse it. It was like literally when it was a fight, because that was the difference. Like there was one fight where I said, let me show you what happens when I don't use entrainment. And it was against a Thundurus or something like that. And the fight took 7 minutes because it was just healing, waiting, switching, healing, waiting. So like we can do this, or I click entrainment and we do this, and then I can get through this a lot. Like that's literally all it's doing. And people were just like, I don't.
Yeah,
it's
and you didn't like
I thought
cheat
we were having
though.
fun.
Like if you did something where it was like against the rules, then I would understand, but it's
Yeah.
not. So
Because like some people do fully randomized playthroughs where like Pokemon evolutions are random, so you could evolve, like a Squirtle, and it would evolve into a Charizard. You'd be like, what?
oh no way.
Yeah, so people do like full randomize where they
You
do
should
that.
do that next.
Move sets are completely randomized, and abilities. Well, so
Do
like
it.
what would have been super
And
overpowered, is I guess you can find like for instance like a Slacking with insane attack stat. He gets a new ability, so he's not loafing. And if I think you get him like True Power, which I think is like, I think it's Regigigas's, or no, what is it? True Power Pokemon. Is that what it's called? Oh, Pure Power. So it's an ability, and it doubles the attack stat of the Pokemon.
Oh my gosh.
So if Slacking gets that, he now has a base stat of 320 attack, which nothing even touches that. That's like 3 times what legendary stats are. So like it could be much worse than just getting a free switch in. Long story short, post new stuff to the Reddit, please.
That's pretty crazy.
Oh.
Yeah,
Meme it
and
up.
if we get good Reddit posts, maybe like we just said, maybe we'll get a Reddit post of the day or something.
I've been dumb. So
There you go.
get to working, or just post anything aside from that, please.
There you go.
And aside from the every other post that's like, his content's changed. Is it just me, or do I not? Why are you posting to my Reddit? Like, if you don't, you had to search it out. Bit of an oxymoron.
It is. I never thought about it that way when you say it like that.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Not many people know about the Reddit, and then he manages to be like, I haven't watched him in like 4 years.
It's funny. Like, I don't really watch much of Achievement Hunter, but I don't ever see myself going to like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the Achievement Hunter Reddit and be like, I don't watch this anymore. Why is that?
Is anyone with me? And they're like, yeah, dude, that's why we're on the Reddit. How'd you know?
It's weird.
Yeah. Wasn't supposed to be that long of a topic, but there you go. And if you're confused, it's literally /r or r/Mr. Fruit. That's all there is to it.
Post some funny memes and we'll post them on here, maybe.
Maybe.
If there are actually good ones.
And then I guess, too, if they're audio listener friendly. Otherwise, we'll need like a separate video friendly and then an audio friendly.
Maybe like at the end, we'll attach it to like, or I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Because as we saw earlier, it's describing a meme doesn't. Okay, so like there's like a rage face. Do you know what that is? Okay, so a rage face. Not how that works.
Forever Alone.
Ugh. Hey, you know what time it is though? I hear that. No, it's the da-da-dun, da-da-dun, the usual Destiny 2 corner.
Oh,
everybody's favorite.
Oh, it's coming in now. Yep.
Oh, that reminds there was even there was a Reddit post complaining about us talking about Destiny 2 on the podcast. How could I forget? There was.
I mean, there's always going to be people that be like, "Hey, like, why? You guys just don't enjoy it." And the truth is,
we wouldn't still be talking about it.
But Destiny is still kind of tight sometimes, and I'm going to be going back to it. And the fact is, all of us are when the expansion drops.
If there's a new raid next fall, I'm playing. Like, that's just how it is.
Well, if this new fall, like the big DLC, if that doesn't have a raid, there's no wordplay they can dance around with that. Like what?
They're gonna, for sure. Yeah. They're gonna. If they don't, then
I'm not playing.
That's not here. Well, we're here for the Destiny 2 corner. Our resident, I know a guy, Destiny 2 professional, Blue Westlow, is here to tell us about this week's more positive Destiny 2 news.
My body composition is more Final Fantasy 14 than it is Destiny 2 right now.
You should cut to like Blue's Final Fantasy character, like talking,
like bobbing his head, like in game.
Yeah.
Oh, I could actually do that's true. You know what? I'll send you some footage. Anyways, this has been a pretty big week for Destiny 2. There's a new. By the time this comes out,
you're capping right there.
By the time this podcast comes out,
Sunday,
we're gonna have seen some shit. All right.
Oh, wait,
because we have we're gonna see some shit. It's the last week. We're gonna see some crazy shit happen. Probably, hopefully, I don't know. Please,
I would imagine.
But this is the last week of the season. Hopefully, something tight happens. Which, I mean, the Almighty is getting really close in the sun. There's only 1 week left.
Now that's the Doritos, right?
No, that's the. No. This season's about that. Remember that in the start of Destiny 2 where we had to go to the Almighty and beat the shit out of Gaul?
It's like a giant spaceship that's shaped like an H, kind of like Borderlands.
I thought it was a thing that was shaped like the triangle.
No,
that's the darkness.
Yeah, those people they're on their way.
Yeah. So first and foremost, seasonal stuff. This is the last week of Season of the Worthy, which is supposed to be the entire Almighty storyline. There were some leaks, not leaks, but people would load into like a glitched tower that had like a bunch of debris and rubble around the tower. So people were speculating that we do destroy the Almighty, but we get wreckage around the city. I don't know if that's going to happen this season. It might happen this week, maybe before the next season starts. We'll find out. Obviously, we're time travelers, so if it did happen and something cool happened, like I hope you guys were like, I hope it was tight. So, anyways, it's just
It wasn't.
this is the last week of the season, and we've gotten very minimal anything, so that's kind of sad. However, the big part of what happened this week is the announcement of the June 9th reveal and the 2 cinematics of the Drifter and Eris that are going to be showing off the fall expansion. It's pretty cool because we saw both Drifter and Eris in Europa. Eris has like a charge of light in her hand in the trailer, which is super sick to see. People are assuming that she's working with Mara Sov now, which would be super tight, which means we're finally going to have some of Mara in the story again come fall. And I think this is...
Rob, wake up. Rob.
Rob's just like, yeah, this is tight, I guess. This is all interesting to me. Please, bro. So anyways, while Rob has
I'm listening.
crisis, while Rob has an existential crisis, this fall expansion is looking to push a lot of buttons that we haven't pushed story-wise. We've been doing it all these last couple seasons, which has been like a weird thing considering the fact that we've done almost nothing in-game to warrant like all these story progressions. But hopefully in the fall it'll be tight.
Rob. It kind of happens.
So true. Like we haven't done anything to like make the story progress, and it's just goes.
Yeah, we've done very little. The most we've done over this past year is save Saint 14, and that's about it. Beyond that, like in game, we haven't done a whole lot.
We haven't pushed the narrative at all.
The crazy thing too, though, is like whatever's going to happen in this last week, like you said, like doesn't make this a good season. Like whatever it's going to be is probably just going to be like a cutscene, or if it's like a little mission, it's a mission we get for like a day. You know, like there's not much that can really save what was a pretty garbage season.
Okay, so wait, So wait, the Almighty story thing is coming in this season or in the fall? Like,
this season.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably already happened. But the story with Eris and Drifter is coming in the fall, and that's gonna be tight.
Drifter, so Gambit's back?
He's part of the story. It doesn't mean his activity is going to be. Bungie has talked about how they want to revamp Gambit, which they need to, but
they desperately need to. And so they need to boil it down to one mode now. They can't keep whatever. Different.
Please not Gambit Prime.
Please no.
That was the worst.
Gambit, the Gambit, normal Gambit is like here. Gambit Prime is like here.
For those unaware, it was like kind of sleep. I'm super sleep.
So, I mean, obviously, it's going to be hype, right? June 9th. So, we're going to see like what they're going to do. A lot of people were speculating that this is what they were planning on doing for D3 before Activision left. And that they just were like, hey, repurpose it into a new expansion. Cool. I hope that it turns out great because I love Destiny and I want it to not suck. What I'm really worried about, though, is we have heard absolutely nothing about next season.
Yeah.
Because we still have to play a whole nother season before.
I thought Almighty was the next season. I thought you were just saying.
No, this is
the current season.
The start of this season was us being told that the Almighty is being repurposed to essentially be a missile headed to Earth.
This is we're in the last week of this season and nothing has really happened. And what's more worrying is we have heard absolutely nothing about the next season, which is in a week, less than a week now.
Trials.
Yeah, and the fact that they're teasing the fall before even bothering to talk about the new season.
That is
that is pretty a little worrying.
People were expecting a lot when I was browsing the Reddit from this next season, but someone made a post that is just like a huge reality check. Like ultimately, all of this stuff was made to go along with Shadowkeep as a seasonal model, and there's no reason to believe next season's content is going to be any different than the past 2 seasons of content. So past 3 seasons of content. So I think they're just not advertising the next season because there's not much in it. And that's
I think expected. That's why they're overlapping with the fall expansion because they're
Yeah,
like
exactly.
smoke screen. New season is like there's nothing, but look what's gonna be in fall. You know,
I'm just
We better get a raid.
it just hurts a little bit because this is going to be the longest season of all of them. It's going to be a 4-month season,
oh, geez.
and I haven't heard anything. So hopefully it's tight. But hey,
as long as it's
our
got a
Destiny
new
cooler talk.
dude, as long as it's got a new public event, dude. Oh man,
Yeah.
Does
Yes.
Final Fantasy have anything coming in the works?
Oh,
Blue?
okay, yeah. So Final Fantasy. Okay, so
Tight.
they're doing this Moogle Thompson event right now, and I'm farming to get like all these really cool mounts. And I finally got this Twin
sick.
Tawny
I like
mount
that.
for doing all the player recommendations. Shout out Twitter, I sold out, and it's a super tight
Oh,
dragon.
yeah.
What happened?
I sold out on Twitter. I was like, "Yo, please use my recruiter friend code so I can get this tight dragon mount."
It's
How
kind of
many
like the
did you get?
Borderlands key thing.
I've gotten like 5 player X so far, which is tight.
That's
And now I have
not
this. I have
bad.
this super sick dragon. I'll take a picture and send it to you. You can show it on the podcast if you want. It's sick. But-
how many do you need exactly to get said mount?
You only need 3 player recommendations.
That's kind of a lot, though.
But it's cool because when you get player recommendations, you or not.
You earn more XP, right, or something.
Well, they get like stuff like Aetheryte tickets, so they could travel for free. So I get gold chocobo feathers, which I could use for mounts and stuff, and they get silver chocobo feathers. The people who use my code for like armor or
Do you want to plug in your code right now, Blue, for all the Final Fantasy players? out
well,
there?
the recruitment system is really bad, so I can only generate one code every 3 hours, and only one person can use it. It's not bad. It's just so like people don't
No
spam
abuse.
like. Yeah, people don't have like an infinite gold chocobo farm, you know?
AKA infinite golden keys,
Yeah.
which is
I
What
like,
is happening in Final Fantasy? Well, sometime this month there's supposed to be a big update, which is supposed to be the last Shadowbringers update, I think, until the next expansion. I'm not sure. I think there's going to be more. It's going to be 5.3, and it's going to be the biggest selling point of this update is that all like the first like A Realm Reborn, like obviously like the base game is supposed to be getting like a big revamp for new players, because right now it's kind of bad for new players because it's pretty boring. But they're supposed to be like fixing some of the questing. They're going to be adding flying to those areas, so they're going to be making it easier for new players to get into the game by upgrading, changing quality of life stuff for the first expansion or for the base game, and then obviously a bunch of the new Shadowbringer stuff. So we're getting new raids, new trials.
Ooh, raid.
And I'm really excited because so in every expansion there's these you collect 7 mounts from the trials, like the extreme version of the trials, which is like the harder mode version of the trials. And like so like there's dogs, there's horses. For the base game there's horses. You collect 7 horses. Once you get 7 horses, you get a fucking dick punch horse. It's tight.
What?
And then
everyone's favorite.
you collect
That's
like
what Destiny's missing, man.
in Heaven Swords, you get 7 birds, and you get like a super dick punch bird, like a phoenix bird. And then in
Why
Stormblood, you
can't fucking Destiny do that? I don't
collect
get it.
7 dogs. You get a like tight fucking Fenrir mount. But right now, Shadowbringers is the tightest because the extreme trials will give you dragons if you farm them hard enough. Which
Have you gotten said dragon?
I have not gotten a dragon yet because my group is still like doing endgame stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're progging EX Hades right now because
Oh.
shout out everyone in FFX.
Better farm.
We're progging EX Hades. Stuff is really difficult in this game, like because you have to like coordinate and do things. The difficulty is in how you work together, not in bullet sponges. So basically what I'm saying is it's not easy to get these mounts, and once you get enough of them, the next update you're going to be able to get like the super dragon mount. I think it's the next update, or maybe the update after. Once all the trials come out for Shadowbringers, the extreme versions, you farm them, you get all 7 tight dragons. We don't know what the final dragon's going to look like, but that's what I'm looking forward to right now because I want to get the super rainbow dragon whenever it comes out because they always go ham on those super mounts, and I want it. Final Fantasy 14 is tight. All I'm saying is play the game.
Blue, what would you do for Destiny to have a system like the Chocobo feathers and like just like a Sparrow kind of system, like as if like Destiny handled mounts like Final Fantasy does? Do you think it works in Destiny? Like,
it wouldn't work in Destiny just
not
because
with sparrows. Like, if there was unique sparrows,
there's just not enough in the game that people care about loot wise.
But I think
like, they're just not.
It would be so much cooler if people.
Well, they tried to do. They tried to do a refer friend system in D2 where you like do a quest with your friend and you get all the stuff, and that was cool. But like, I mean, honestly, it's clearly so difficult for them to make anything to give to people. Like, it took 7 months for them to fix Polaris Lance. I can't expect them to be making like a refer a friend gun for people because
no, I'm not saying like
it
being no, not like a refer a friend kind of system, but just the system of like having mounts and like with like sparrows and stuff like that. Like, say if you did this certain raid and you got the sparrow to drop 3 times and you kept those 3 sparrows, now it's like this super sparrow or something like that.
There's just not enough like in game to make that work. Like, they could passively introduce like, but you know it's true. But you know it's true. Like, Final Fantasy, right? There are 7 trials and 7 hard mode versions of those trials to do with your group. And you have to do all 7 of those trials with your group, get your group farmed up, get those cool mounts, and then you get a super version. We don't even get like 3 strikes in Destiny like a year. Like,
when was the last time we even got a strike?
The PlayStation 4
Shadowkeep, right?
Yeah, but Shadowkeep didn't give us a new strike. It gave us an old PS4 strike.
Yeah. The sad thing is we haven't even gotten new strikes. We don't even really like strikes either. Most people are like, but at this point, it's like, we'll take them. Like,
so Bungie,
that's what it is.
So they had cool drops.
So because of the fact that Bungie doesn't have as much loot that matters, and it doesn't have as many activities, they have the right idea where, like in dungeons, like you have to do like little hidden objectives to get like something like the Wish Ender, or I mean, none of it is nearly as remotely time consuming or as difficult as in an MMO, you know, but they have the right idea. But ultimately, man, they just don't put out enough content to warrant any of like a grind like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in Final Fantasy, I feel like I'm always doing something because there's too much to do. Because I'm a new player coming into a game that has years of content. Even Shadowbringers content alone, which is like being updated over the course of a year, is a lot for me to do. Like, even now, I'm just starting to go into like the extreme trials, and I'm only starting on like we've done 2 out of the total 7 EX trials that will come out. And I've been playing this game for like a month at this point, and now we're trying to do a 3rd one. So
that's crazy.
Anyways, play Final Fantasy 14 tonight.
And use Blue's Refer a Friend code.
Yeah, tweet at him or something. He'll hook you up.
I'll hook you up when I make a tweet.
We got Chocobos in Final Fantasy 14 and Chocobos coming in Pokemon DLC.
What?
The new Galarian Zapdos. It's fighting
Pokemon!
electric.
Let's talk about Pokemon!
Galarian Zapdos.
Yeah, it's fighting electric, and it looks like it might as well be a Chocobo.
Yeah, so I don't know if, I mean, obviously, if you watch this podcast, chances are you're pretty into Pokemon. We're kind of Pokemon fanatics here. They revealed the release date for the DLC, 17th, Mr. Fruit.
Yeah, which is
so
it's a
excited.
Wednesday. That's
yeah,
so
but
bizarre.
I mean,
oh, jeez.
When it releases, it releases. I'm not going to be mad at it.
What's the DLC like?
It's Isle of Armor, the first DLC, and I'm super excited. It looks like the entire area is like the wild area, which is kind of what we want from a Pokemon game.
Slowly making it open world.
We talked about this back when it first launched. It's a 3DS game on a Switch, but the wild area is tight because you go around, you free roam, you have control of your character's camera, you see Pokemon pop out from the grass. It's so sick, and it seems like this Isle of Armor DLC, and I think going forward, it's just the entire area is going to be a wild area where the DLC takes place in. So I'm really excited. It's going to be tight. Also, the new birds are sick.
Yeah, the birds are dope. I'm looking at them now. They're cool.
A lot of the info we got is for the second DLC, so we'll see what all the first has. I feel like the second's going to contain a lot more than the first. We'll see. But we'll also have to see what ad read this says.
Oh.
If you like sex, you'll love BlueChew.com. Yup, that's right. Today, BlueChew.com is sponsoring the podcast. BlueChew.com offers men a performance enhancement for the bedroom. BlueChew.com affiliated physicians work with you to find the dosage and active ingredient that works the best for you. They want you to know that chewables can work faster. Online physician consultant is free, so it's cheaper than the other two competitors. It'll only take a few minutes to get connected with the BlueChew.com affiliated physician, and if you qualify, you get prescribed online quickly. Blue Chew gives you confidence in bed every time. You and your partner will love it. Chew it and do it. Our listeners today get a special deal thanks to the people at BlueChew.com. Here's the great deal for you guys. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first order free with the promo code GG. Literally 2 letters. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BLUE Chew.com promo code GG. Thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring this podcast.
And welcome back to the greatest podcast known to the three of us.
Hell yeah.
Right.
It's true. I don't know what the Joe Rogan podcast is.
Hey, we don't
I said
speak
I don't
of
know.
other stuff here.
You're right.
We're the only podcast, dude. It's why we're the best.
Sure
We
Hmm.
are.
We have no
signed
competition.
exclusively.
We're
To
literally the only
everything.
podcast that ever existed. I mean, this is just factual.
Yeah, we copyrighted like the term podcast. So other people might have audio shows, but we're the only podcast.
We have audio experiences.
We're exclusively signed to
Ooh.
everybody.
Wow. You don't just listen, you experience this podcast.
It's true.
You should just call it the GG Easy Experience.
The GG experience. GG over experience. What are we talking about next, anyways?
Oh, whatever.
The Patreon questions.
I believe it is
Oh.
the Patreon section of our podcast.
The Patreon stands. We appreciate
That's
you.
right. Let's do Patreon has this thing where you can like your favorite questions. This one had the most likes of all the questions.
Oh, really?
This one is from that guy, all caps. What is something that critics love but you just don't get?
Where to start?
I'll start. I don't, and especially like when I go to conventions and stuff like that, I don't get what the deal behind a steakhouse is. Like I'll never understand the idea of going to a steakhouse, buying a steak that cost $80 when this is gonna sound crazy to me. I'd rather have like a number 2 at like McDonald's because I think it like tastes better. I don't understand the hype behind steak. I never have. I never will.
Like a good steak, though.
It is.
Otherworldly.
You're paying for an experience.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't. I truly don't.
Have you ever had like a steak that you're just like, damn, this is a good steak?
I have.
Yeah, but then I go like, was it worth the $60 or whatever
I mean,
it is?
you can look. There's several ways to look at it, right? Like it's all about the moment. Enjoy it. It's it's a occasional thing, or there's also the thing like in 8 hours I'm gonna be hungry again, so who cares? So
And
that's
how
like
I just kind of go about it. Like,
yeah, that's more of like that. Like why buy this $6 thing when I buy this $5 thing? It'll fill me up. I'm gonna be hungry in 8 hours anyway, so what does it matter if I eat right
And
now?
I also don't think a steak just tastes that great, honestly.
See, that's
I
where we
couldn't tell you-
disagree.
I couldn't tell you the difference of steak
I
from
love
like
meat.
a Texas Roadhouse steak and like say a Charlie Steakhouse or
Wait, really?
like Elway Steakhouse.
I mean,
What?
Texas
They all
Roadhouse
taste the
is
same.
tight, but I mean, there's definitely like cheap steaks that just are like, yeah, it's a nice piece of meat, and
We
you
need
know,
to
it was
take you to
good.
like an actual meat place then.
Yeah,
Where-
but like a straight up steakhouse, you get like a juicy,
What's-
delicious, medium rare.
where's the
steak.
last steakhouse you went?
Charlie's.
Really? See, that was pretty good.
I only go to those kinds of places when I'm at conventions because everybody's like, we gotta go to a steakhouse and go spend $90 and
For
then like
me-
get $20 mashed potatoes. It's like I don't get it.
For me, it's like filet. That's what I'll get. Just the perfect cut. It's a little more so you don't get as many ounces, but like the filet every time, oof, you just cut through that like melted butter. And then depending on how they season it and stuff, oof, always go to.
What do you get your cook? How do you cook it?
Usually medium.
Okay. Blue's a medium rare.
I'll usually get like medium rare. I usually get medium because I don't trust restaurants to do medium rare.
You'd only get medium rare at like a really
I'm too
nice
paranoid.
Yeah.
Like anything that looks raw, I'm too paranoid. I can't do it.
Yeah, I would only do medium rare like a straight up like this is a Michelin star.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay's in the back
because like it just takes a couple seconds to go from to I'm gonna get food poisoning.
And that's just not fun.
So I'll usually my go-to for like hamburgers and anything is usually medium. But I dream about medium rare steaks.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not like pretty much I go to a steakhouse pretty much as often as Rob does.
Yeah.
But I see the appeal. And when I go, I enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing for me is like, yeah, it's a little pricier, but you're paying for stuff that's pricey for a reason, especially some of the cuts. Like usually you're paying for like filet is a rare cut. So it's going to be a little pricier. I have.
What?
And
I want that, bro. Yo, just give me a taste.
That one I did not like.
You don't like Wagyu?
It just felt like it was almost just eating fat. And I don't like fat. But see, I cut fat off. I only had a little bit. I was like, no, thank you. Because this was we were in Seattle, I think. It was at the Bungie Community Summit. Oh. And a whole bunch of people went there. And Goth and Lupo got some. And
that's the dinner.
Yeah, that's the dinner. Another time. And they got they ordered everything, but then they're also like, hey, let's go in on Wagyu beef or something. Like whatever. It's like because like what was it? It was like 6 ounces or something. It was like $300 or something.
God,
yeah,
dude, what?
Something insane because it was like grade 5A grade Wagyu beef or something, which is I guess is like it might as well be gold equivalent of meat.
Yeah, I heard like I've like watched a video and it's like these cows are like treated like they eat this specific kind of grass.
Yeah,
like
I have no, and literally the funny thing too is Goth is like talking to Lupo because I don't think Lupo had ever had any. Goth's like, yeah, like I'd go ahead and take some Tums because it usually messes me up afterward, and I'm just like, you paid $200-300 to just have your stomach be like, bruh. And so they gave me just a little bit. And I was like, you guys can have the rest. That one, I did not get that one quite as much. Because, again, for me, like, if I get, like, a ribeye, I cut the fat off. I don't like eating fat.
Yeah, I don't like the fat either.
No. And I know that's where a lot of the flavor is, but just give me the meat. I don't want the fat.
I can respect that.
So, I think that's maybe why I didn't like the Wagyu so much. And then again, I wasn't going to take much because I was like, I'm going to have to own them my first child if I take any more. So, but then like you get a good steak and sometimes it just hits right.
Do you guys like ketchup or A1 sauce with your steak?
Normie.
Depends on the steak. Like if it's just like a perfectly seasoned cooked steak, I won't need that.
Yeah. If it's a good steak, you usually don't need.
Yeah.
But if your dad cooked up a steak, blew on the grill, and was like, "Hey,
I'd be like, give me a little A1."
Yeah. Ketchup, never tried that. But like some sauces or something.
I don't think I would be able to get that. Ketchup is just like that's just you're disrespecting it now.
Well, like I went
will you ask for sauce at a restaurant?
Well, I'll try it first.
I mean, most steakhouses will just have sauce there for you.
Yeah, like if it's an actual steakhouse, you normally don't need to. But if it's like you said, and here's the thing too, is I normally don't order meat, even if I'm at Roadhouse, I'm not going to order their steak.
Yeah,
right. Either. I usually don't. But if I were to do it somewhere like at Roadhouse, I might be like, hey, could I get some sauce or something? Yeah. But if I'm going to like a steakhouse, I'm expecting
Elway's
the way they cook it, the seasoning, the marinade, like everything they've done with it should be enough. And I can't name a time I've gone to a steakhouse where I've never asked like, hey, can I have some A1? They'd probably look at me like, excuse me?
The fuck did you just call us? Yeah,
you what? But no, because the only other time too normally I would need sauce is if it's a really dry steak, which just means it's been overcooked.
Yeah, which means it's bad.
Yeah. So it's usually juicy enough. So anyway,
Is there anything you guys that critics like but you don't like? That's how that started.
There's a lot of movies. Except,
look, man, I'm probably gonna get some heat for this.
Uh-oh.
I don't get Rocky.
Oh, the movie Rocky?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Rocco.
Maybe it's just because the movie hasn't aged as well as other people think it has. But like I watched Rocky
fucking ass
a couple years ago, and I was just like,
Rocky 2. I like Rocky 2.
This is okay, I guess.
I'm a sucker for boxing movies.
And my dad was like, oh, "What do you think?" And I was just like, "It was okay." He's like, "It was okay."
What do you think?
It was okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll give you this one for free. I'm gonna ask again, and I want the right answer.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think?
It was good, Dad. It was good.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
The newer Rocky, except the newer Creeds are dope. Creed is really that's why I watched the old Rockies, is because everyone's like, oh, it's tied to Creed, and I was like, Creed was a dope movie, and then I go to watch old Rockies, and I was like,
see,
but this doesn't have Michael B. Jordan.
I agree with Blue, because like for me, I think I'd put Warrior as probably my favorite boxing movie.
Isn't that's not boxing? That's martial. That's like UFC.
That was Christian Bale.
Oh, you're right.
Tom Hardy, I think.
I forget what movie I'm thinking of.
Let me make sure I'm not crazy.
Big, I'm trying to fight here. You want to be my coach again?
Yeah, Tom Hardy, Nick Nolte. Oh yeah, Warrior's the one. That one's not the one with Christian Bale. There's also one with Christian Bale, but I don't remember what that one is.
The one Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, I told you that. Yeah.
That one's The Fighter. I like that one too, but I think I'd put Warrior above it, then The Fighter, then Creed.
Best boxing movie? It's gotta be. Well, I gotta be Rocky 2, right? Or Rocky 3. Or Rocky 4. They're all pretty dope. Rocky 1 won Best Picture too. I don't know. They're all pretty sick.
See, I'm with Blue. Like, I didn't grow up watching them. And you look back, and it's just a lot easier to see, like, I mean, fundamentally, they're like good movies and stuff, but they just don't quite hold the same weight as like I then go watch The Fighter or Warrior or Creed.
Yeah.
And they just, I don't know.
They just didn't hit for me. And I felt like I did something wrong, like I failed. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe
sometimes it just don't hit.
Maybe I just preferred Michael B. Jordan movies.
I don't pay enough to what critics say to be able to like
gauge.
Yeah, definitively remember one where I was like so against it. I mean, I guess I would say Batman vs Superman. Like, it wasn't a great movie, but it wasn't like 10% or whatever they gave it to me. Like, I enjoyed watching it once. And in my mind, that doesn't deserve, like 12% or whatever.
It wasn't quite as bad as people made it out to be for me. I think it's just because the expectations of what Marvel had done over the course of the past, at that point, 6-7 years longer, was like this is like, y'all have had this much of a late start
and budget, yo. Think about the
budget, and this is what y'all give us. How dare you?
I haven't hyped up a movie since Last Airbender. That's when I swore to never ever get excited about a movie ever again.
Oh, dude, please don't. Please stop.
We'll move on to another question. Ethan Stevenson says, did any of you guys go to summer camp as a kid? Did you have any funny camp stories?
I went to summer school. I never went to summer camp.
Oh, you went to summer school, Blue?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he really liked that.
Yeah, so
I was look, okay, I never been to summer camp, but I guess I'll give the summer school rundown. Dude, junior year of high school, I was so lazy. I was just so, like, everything was just so uninteresting.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, right, like, all the answers are in the book. You literally just look at the book. Oh, this is the answer. Blah, blah, blah. The tests are easy. The problem is, I had a teacher in math class. Hey, math class. I had a teacher in my math class who would never test, who would never have finals. All of her all of her grading system was based around if you did your homework or not, which I never did in that class because that shit's boring. But
Ooh, homework.
So usually I would get carried by my test scores, and I would just be like, "Oh, I passed. Tight. Like this curriculum's easy." Literally, her entire class was based around participation, not like how well you knew the curriculum. And I was just like, this is my hell, because I was like, I know how to do everything. Please just give me the good score. So I ended up having to go to summer school, which is pretty tight because like summer school was actually pretty fun because everyone was there just to fuck around. Yeah. But nonetheless,
how long was it?
It was only like 3 weeks.
Oh, that's not
bad. But I didn't go for 3 weeks in a row. It was like every other day I went. It was easy, and it was super short. Like I was just there from like 8 to like 1 or noon.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
I never really did.
It was actually really chill. I actually enjoyed summer school. No meme. So
not bad.
It's just I have the bad memory of this old ass wrinkly teacher who was like, yeah, just participate and you get
rusty ass.
It's like, just give me a test and I'll pass it, please, bro, please,
please. No, I hate it when they didn't, like, that's just not the right way to teach. Like, it should be comprehension.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what carried me throughout high school, because I was super lazy in high school, but I would pass everything. Because test-wise, like I would get by because I would just pass the test. But when it came to like 50% of my grade is literally how much homework have you turned in, then it's like, ah, shit.
Yeah, I'm done. Well, it's been real.
Because like Christian, did they like change like in our high school? Like there was like what the tests were graded in, and then the homework was also put in like a different kind of category.
Yeah, it was like X amount of the grade.
Yeah, it was like weighted too. It was like the test counted as like 70%, but then like your homework and participation credits, I think it was. Yeah, it was super
all dumb. Stupid.
I didn't really have I guess I did summer camps, but they were like soccer summer camps. So like I would go to like DU or something like that and like would do soccer camps, but they weren't fun. It was like, I mean, they weren't like bad, but it wasn't like, oh, let's go in the swimming hole, Jimmy. Like, no, it was like, hey, let's go fucking sweat our asses off while people who we don't know yell at us for 2 hours while we're on a turf field while it's 115 degrees while our crazy ass parents watch up from the stands who paid thousands of dollars for the summer camp just go in hopes that their kids can get into school. So we had to try and play good while we're functioning off 2 hours of fucking sleep. I hated it. I hated those things, man. If you're a kid who goes to like summer camps for their sport, I'm sorry. I hated that shit. I hated it. So, and then like normally the parents drop you off. Nope, my dad stayed and watched because he's my dad. I hate it. I'm having like honestly like relapse here, and I need to like.
I can tell.
Oh, so no, I did go to fun summer camps. I went to shitty fucking summer camps.
Well, I didn't do any of either. I can't think of any camp I've ever went to. No summer school, nothing.
What were your summers? Just video games?
Chilling, playing with friends, playing football. A lot of it was outside. I know I used to see the sun. It's crazy. I used to actually have a tan. What were those days like?
Pasty. You're like me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm super pasty. Well, the thing too is what I never understand too is like people are like, oh, you're so white. It's like I work inside for like 12 hours a day. Like, where do you think I get sun? Where do you think I get tan?
Yeah,
like, what am I gonna do?
We have these simulates the sun. You know, like you see this. Like, if I put this right here, you would think I was out doing this outside, wouldn't you guys? Because like this is what the sun looks like.
I'm taking vitamin D every day. I don't get it. What I gotta do?
It's just missing the sunglasses because everybody knows the sun.
Oh, the sun has, yeah, of course.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
That's canon.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I tried to burn my retinas. You guys ever do that?
Did you
back in elementary schools? Yeah, like sun staring contest.
Man, you guys
it's a good thing I was. It's a good thing I was bad at it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was not good at looking at the sun. One of the few things I'm happy to be bad at.
We'll do our last question from Jelly. What will June bring that will make 2020 an even worse year than it already is? I asked this question a month ago for May, and it did somehow get worse, says Jelly. I saw this really funny meme, and it was like the aliens.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we're up next."
Yeah, like, I'm nervous.
Oh yeah, fuck, I'm nervous. Yeah, at this rate, like anything is possible. All right.
Yeah,
I'm just expecting somebody to go, "Wow, the moon looks bigger," and then like Obi-Wan Kenobi would go, "That's no moon," and then I'm like, Obi-Wan, and then it's the Death Star. Like, oh no,
Obi-Wan, we miss you, Qui-Gon. That's the thing is like what I could probably imagine. It would get trumped somehow. Like the universe, the world would be like, "Oh, you think that's like, oh, you think that's as bad as? Wait a second." Like I'm talking like, bro, Yellowstone's about to erupt. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it.
My God.
Can you imagine?
Crazy. No, I'd be very scared.
Well, the good news is if that ever did happen, we would just die like instantaneously.
Yeah.
So there'd be no suffering.
Which is crazy because we're so far away from Yellowstone Park.
But like when you actually learn just how big of like a volcano, of like how big Yellowstone is, like it's insane.
Yeah,
it would literally have worldwide consequences.
Oh, I think like I think I watched a video on it.
It'd be like a nuclear winter, pretty much.
Yeah, like it would almost eventually kill like a mass extinction event because one, it would pretty much just nuke like a fourth of the planet.
Like, it would say 50,000 people would survive around like that.
But then like ash would cover the earth. Temperatures would drop like increasingly, like something crazy.
Crops would die, like
So real like when I learned about that, I was like, I'm glad I'm here because I don't have to deal with the slow dying. We're dead. That's it.
Yeah, we just die from the molten ash raining down upon our houses and just burn into fire and asphyxiate on the smoke and gas. So, but that'll do it for episode 40. We're in our 40s now, boys. Our kids are officially teenagers.
Yeah,
our kids are teenagers.
Oh no!
40 means when I turn 40, like my kids are teenagers.
My mom had 2 kids right now, at my age. 25. No, I tried to and I can't. No.
You got 2 dogs
and that's enough.
Yeah, you have 2 kids.
Well, see, the difference though is I can just put these away in a cage. I can't do that with babies. Can't do those with humans. I can be like, bad, go in your crate. But I can't really do that with a baby. You know, child services get called on me or something.
That's true.
Unlucky, right?
Blue, where can people find you on the internet?
You guys can find me everywhere at Blue Oslo.
You guys know where you can find me on the internet. Christian, where can they find you?
You can find me over at r/Mr. Fruit with memes.
Nice. We are all right. Let's
entrainment memes.
Let's confirm. Can we get the #1 post of the week next week?
We'll do that next week.
Pog.
And also,
no cheating either.
New channel where the podcast is now.
Subscribe and hit the bell.
Where it's gonna live. Yeah, subscribe, hit the bell, like the video, comment, engage with it, so that this channel doesn't get destroyed by the algorithm.
If there's any clips you want to see, leave them below.
Oh yeah, give some timestamps. I think we already got a nice clip I'll make of Rob's sneezing stand.
Whatever. All these clips are just going to be me at the end of the day.
We need the 3D coal. Oh man, we got some good ones. See you guys. Love you.